3, 2, 1, and boom. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 9 of Break Free Worldwide Podcast, live from our headquarters in Houston, Texas. My name is Jeremy, joined with Moy.
Moy Rivas.
I was going to speak for you.
No, you got to let me talk to
him. All right, that's Moy.
Cool. Moy Rivas.
And joining us today is our very, very, very special and swole guest, Mr. Eric Lee Salazar. Make some noise, world, for the man himself. How you feeling today, Eric?
Feeling good. Feeling good.
Yes, sir. Is that it? Just good? Great?
I feel great.
You look great.
You look great.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did get all my workouts and everything, so I'm good.
I heard you made a visit to June the barber today.
Yeah, I did.
But you cut your own hair, right?
I do cut my own hair. He knows that.
That's a real
But
man.
today, since I was going all monstered out, I was like, let me go to my boy June, get everything completely.
you have to make the connection so it all flows together. If not, this whole thing would have been real bad.
Yeah.
So it's a superstition.
Yeah, it is. I just got my my monthly monster shipment in late last night.
Shout out Muscle
Sick.
Monster.
Yeah, Muscle Monster.
That's right.
So now just ready to rock and roll.
Yeah,
Restocked
man.
it today.
Dope.
Yeah.
So I'm hype, man. Before we start, I would like to give kind of my take for people that don't know Eric and the time that I've known you. You're just a really cool guy overall, man. You do a lot. Our audience is mainly B-boys and B-girls, and what I like and what is really dope to me is you started as a B-boy, actually. and for people that know my brother Palmer, you started not alongside him, but in the same kind of circle and group, So you, and that was in around what years you would say that you were B-boy, B-boy era?
I started breakdancing in 98.
Okay.
Yeah,
98,
Into
99.
the early 2000s, the golden era.
Yeah.
And then you transition into love for bodybuilding, correct?
Yeah. Actually, I remember it was in San Antonio. It was whenever San Antonio had came down. I guess Rob had picked them all up in a bus. Brought them over here for the YA.
Yeah.
That's whenever Damien dressed up as Venom.
Oh, that's right. That was a bad choice by him.
Oh man, I remember those pictures actually.
That was a really
Damien Lopez,
bad.
right?
Well, yeah. Well, that actually was that was like one of my best nights ever, and I had already
Not for him though. Very bad for him.
Well, like I had just started working out, and my wrist was having this little aching problem, and I was probably at the height of my breakdancing skills.
What were you doing the night before? What was your wrist?
It was the left one on this one.
Oh.
So it was in some pain, and I remember that night I just did phenomenal. Like I was hitting all my moves. I was practicing a lot with the Havoc.
Days.
I was practicing a lot with the Havoc Coro, so I had finally made my way up there to practice within the circle of them.
Ooh.
And I was feeling it. I was just doing crazy moves.
In the zone.
I was in the zone. I was just killing it that night. And the next day it was so swollen. I had to go to the doctor and get x-rays, and they just said that I had just major inflammation, and I couldn't break dance for about maybe about 2-3 months.
Yeah.
And
Damn
then
doctors.
and then that time I like a few of the moves that I had just learned and I just got down, like I couldn't do them anymore after 3 months, and then I started working out, and that's when everything
That's
just
the
flipped
transition.
over.
So that was kind of the shift whenever you said, I'm going to get into this.
Yeah.
But how did you get into lifting? Did you just say, you know what, I want to get into fitness? Did
No.
someone introduce you?
No,
How did that work out?
My dad.
Your dad?
Yeah, my dad was really big into working out. He had the 1980s Arnold book, so I was really big into comic books.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all guys know.
Shout out to Flex Level Fitness.
Yeah, Flex Level Fitness. I have nothing but
gym.
comic book stuff there. I'm a big comic book freak. And so I used to have nothing but, I would see them and they looked amazing. Okay, that's probably why I liked a little bit more of the physique looking of bodybuilding. But I saw how they looked, and then I see how Arnold and all them looked. I thought it was just, I honestly thought when I was a kid that's just how you look when you grow up. Like after puberty, you just look like Arnold. Like I really did think
I
like,
wish.
and like my dad was really big too. And I remember when I was 17, when I was 16, 17, 18, I was like, man, I don't see that.
The jig is up.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, okay, I guess you got to work out. And I guess I don't have the best genetics. So then that's just whenever I started working out, and I just had a love and passion for it. And
Yeah, I remember you at one point you were telling me a story that when you were a kid, you were like so scrawny that when you got into fitness, you were like, dang, I got to bulk up. I got to look bigger. I got to look like these guys that you were looking up to, right? Mm-hmm. But you just couldn't seem to do it, or the way you did it, it was just like overdoing it. You were eating like crazy. You were trying to get to a certain weight because you didn't think it was possible for you.
You know, that's every little guy's dream. You know, when you're 140 pounds, 150 pounds, the main goal is to eventually one day get 200 pounds.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot of us are just eating everything we can at a young age, at a youthful age, and not being able to pack on any kind of muscle. Which then led me into my first bodybuilding show, which then I went overboard on my weight gain.
So you went from 140 to what?
Well, I stayed around 150 for a very long time. I had a pretty good build on me. Then when I was 22, I did my first bodybuilding show, and this was with no education. I was with the coach at the time, but I never knew what it was like to actually like feel like you're starving. So I had depressed my metabolism by being at my very lowest weight, by doing so much cardio. My body never knew what it was like to starve or crave. So then right after a bodybuilding show, I couldn't stop eating. You know, my hormones and everything were off. My ghrelin levels were off. That's the stomach hormone that kind of tells you when you're full or not full. So then afterwards, I was just eating like a crazy person. I mean, I just could not stop eating. So then I went from 140 pounds lean up to about 210 pounds.
140 to 210.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What's that, 70 pound? You put on 70 pounds?
Yeah.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
My pant waist.
That is correct.
My pant waist went from about a 14 regular in boys to about a 38 pants in men.
In boys.
Yeah.
Husky.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So whenever I still diet to this day, I usually when I'm a few weeks out from a show, I usually have to do 14 regular in boys.
So did you attempt to gain weight before, like
Yeah.
you started bodybuilding, and
Yeah.
you couldn't?
Yeah, I couldn't.
So what was the change? Because I know that a lot of people out there, especially B-boys, like they are looking to gain weight. They want to add, mass to their frame. Like, what was it?
Well, first off, that's not a way that you'd want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because everybody goes through this, like, I'm trying to bulk, bro.
Yeah.
This bulking period.
Yeah.
And
From the 90s, from the late 90s and early 2000s, that's how we thought you were supposed to do it.
Yeah.
just eat like crazy.
Yeah.
Like eat like crazy and then shred.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was very counterproductive, especially
That sounds
me being
tight, though. Imagine you just eat like crazy.
Well, let me tell you why it was so counterproductive for especially a natural bodybuilder that doesn't have any kind of enhancements going into a show, is that, the more weight, the more body mass you lose per week, the more muscle mass you're going to lose. So I was still losing those 60, 70 pounds within 15 to 18 weeks.
Wow.
So that means I was losing about 3 pounds a week.
And is that considered healthy?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
And my strength would plummet.
The reason why I asked, because when I talk to people about fitness, and the little that you taught me, even though I feel like you taught me a lot, I still feel like it's also a little too, But when I talk fitness with people, they're always like, yeah, I lost like 10, 15 pounds in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think that's healthy.
Weird flex.
They're like, yeah, but I feel great. And 15 pounds, that's a challenge I took on and I did it. And I'm just like, I don't think that's healthy, man.
Like, you got any water that I can provide everybody?
Well, the what we us bodybuilders call an off season. That's when you could think of that like an improvement season to try to improve, try to gain more muscle mass. And it was very counterproductive if I'm spending all that time gaining all this weight and then I'm having to lose this weight very fast and my strength's suffering. So therefore I'm losing actual lean body mass. I'm losing my muscle tissue. So then right when I compete a year and a half later, I'm exactly where I was whenever I started it. So then that's pretty much like a year and a half wasted just because I lost the weight too fast. And so I did this cycle for maybe about 3 years where I'll get down to like 145, 150, and then get back up to 200 and 210. I did that for about 3 times.
And 200 is a lot for your size.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what's your height? 5'6", 5'7"?
5'7".
Yeah, so you...
Yeah,
that's a lot.
My thighs and my butt, it'd be huge.
Yeah.
I mean, so big that whenever I'd start dieting down for a show, my inner thighs would chafe and it'd start bleeding a little bit.
Rosado?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you're a woman.
Yeah, well,
Put the talcum powder right there.
I would. I'd put some powder and like wrap it up.
with pantyhose.
Yeah. But now it's been about 6 years. It's been about 6 or 7 years now. That I never even on my off season, I never go past I want to say I never go past 170 pounds, never 165, 170 pounds.
So how long was this period in the beginning of you bodybuilding that you kind of, like, for lack of a better way of putting it, you're doing it wrong? Like, how long did it take you to, you know?
Well, not only was I doing that wrong, but even personal training. You know, when I've been a personal trainer now for going on 15 years.
Yeah.
So in the very beginning, it was the most simplest thing ever. I mean, they would. I remember I went into. I worked at Fitness Connection when they only had one in Houston, and that was Greens Point Mall.
Wow.
And then they had Baytown, and then we opened up.
Southeast.
We opened up Pasadena. Yeah, it used to be the Target, and I remember it was a certification, but it was a branch of a certification. So it was almost like a certification mini. So a real widespread certification here is called NASM, and this was just a branch off of NASM. It was still connected with them, but it was just something that so you can legally be hired.
Yeah.
And it was something that I just went in for a Friday and Saturday, and then you just passed a little test. It kind of reminded me of when you go to defensive driving, like at the comedy showcase, and then you just fill out the little paper, like, all right, I'm an expert driver now.
You basically went in for an interview. They gave you an application. You signed it. You did a test.
Yeah.
And then you're a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then now you have to pay me
Are they
$65
still doing it
a
like
session.
that?
You know, I'm not sure.
Jeremy's looking for a job.
I was personal training for a while.
Well,
Let's talk about that.
Let me
We'll
tell
talk
you.
about that.
Let me tell you something very interesting. Is I had a young lady come in to the gym literally 2 days ago. I kid you not, and she wanted to do an interview. Okay, she was a personal trainer being taught from San Jacinto College, and it was amazing. It was amazing. It was for a test. It was part of her last little for the semester, and it was amazing to hear her response after the 10 minutes that we talked. She got so mind blown. She was like, "Oh my God, I feel like I just learned way more in these 10 minutes than my professor told me in the past year that I've been trying to."
That freaking professor doesn't know jack.
Well, I mean, they do not tell people the reality.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, I'll say this too, and I'm not to interrupt, but for the people who don't know you and or maybe just joining, like, I trained with you for a bit, like 2 to 4 months, like consistently, and in that short time, you know, and even before those times when I met you and trained with you, I thought I knew a little bit about fitness, and I guess I can be considered knowledgeable in what's known as mainstream fitness. You know?
Yeah.
I would go and read forums, and I would, as a B-boy, I would, you know, care about my health and read, and I thought I had an idea about it, but you just completely blew my mind about everything about health and fitness and lifting weights and all that. So, you know, for people who are watching, like, I think that's the experience when you go to Flexible Fitness or when they talk with you and they deal with you, you know. So it doesn't surprise me when you hear me tell that, when I hear you tell us.
Well, you know, the one thing that was different too with a lot of people is whenever y'all come to the gym, y'all have to go through that 1 hour orientation.
Yeah.
And that 1 hour orientation is just like a crash course on, hey.
Before anyone trains at your gym, they have to go through that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So normally you just, you know, I was asking the student, you know, I was like, well, what are you trying to do with this? You know, I was like, where are you even trying to work? And she was like, well, you know, I want to be a personal trainer. I just want to help, you know, and I really love that. But there is a reality to it. I know. You know, growing up in the fitness industry, everyone just thinks that they're just going to go to a gym and just want to help people. Okay, we're not salesmen. Okay, but they don't realize that selling is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so they just think that they're going to go in, they're going to get paid a lot of money, and they're just going to be able to help everybody, and everything's just going to be rainbows. Okay, but the reality is that you do have a manager, and they are going to expect certain numbers from you, and there is going to be a part where they say, hey, you know, when they get towards the end of their sessions, you need to have that conversation with them, like, hey, are you going to buy some more sessions?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would see this all the time when I was 22, because I started training when I was, I think, 19. But when I was 20, 21, 22, I would be there in the little area where the personal trainers are, and I would hear them have these conversations with their clients, and they would wait until the very last session, and it would be so awkward. I would hear it, and they would say, this is the end of your sessions. Would you like to buy some more sessions? Because people are really afraid to ask for money, you know, and especially the cost, you know. And with all respect to them, they are charging a lot of money because a lot of that money has to go back to the major corporation. The Fitness Connection, the 24 Hour Fitness, the LA Fitness. So they feel a little scared asking for all that money. And then of course the person would probably say, well, yeah, let me go ahead and go home and ask my spouse, and I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Well, then that means definitely no.
Yeah.
Okay. And let alone, and then a manager, a sales manager that knows sales tactics would get after them and say, hey, next time you need to bring me in so I can counter it.
Yeah.
Okay, which that also makes for an awkward time too. You're like, oh well, here's head honcho
Yeah.
to come and pressure you where I couldn't pressure you.
Right,
So then
right.
when you do buy some more, here I still am. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So all these made for very awkward times, and I would just see people quit because of the sales part. They didn't know that they were supposed to be salesmen. So where we tried to, and we're still not salesmen at Flex Level Fitness. You know, I still don't have good salesman type mentality. That's not me. But I try to put the knowledge, you know, to sell itself. I let the
Exactly.
results sell itself.
And
So
you're speaking,
Yeah,
you're
and-
speaking our language.
Yeah,
'cause we-
and when you talk about results, I want to share my story when I went to Flex, because I remember a lot of people were always telling me, you know, come to Flex, come to Flex. You've invited me before, and I was just like, no, I'm not ready, because, you know, I'm the type of person is like, once I commit, I'm giving you everything because I know you're going to give me everything, right? I don't want to just go and just do it because someone invited me to go. So when I went, when I was like fully ready, dude, you blew my mind, because, you know, we kind of got into fitness through breaking and just trying different things. And
you never lifted weights at all before.
I'd never lifted weights
I
at
remember
all.
you were kind of anti. You were like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I was, you know,
Before
and
the-
then like, you know, different people were telling us about different diets, paleo and keto, all these other
intermittent
things.
fasting.
A lot of
Intermittent
things B-boys say, and it's funny because a lot of girls say this too, is I don't want to bulk up.
Yeah,
I don't want
so-
to lift weights because I don't want to bulk up and
But,
get stiff.
you know, when I went there, I was like, I was going fully to trust everything that you said. And dude, like, you literally changed my life. Like, in terms of fitness, like, you literally changed my life, because, you know, in the breaking world, you know, we build up a physique just through the moves that we do. And you think that you're fit, but you made me realize that I wasn't fit at all. From a physique level, and also from like even feeling it, right? And I remember, like, we started working out, and you started me with the girls, like, really light, and I struggled. I struggled hard, but I moved up really fast.
Yeah.
You know, I struggled really hard, and I remember
And now you're with
I
the
was
stronger
I was
girls.
humbling I was humbling myself.
Yeah.
You know, just listening, and then I would start to think. I'm like, okay, I don't see this guy like do abs. I don't see this guy do all these other things that we get taught.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember I brought a friend. Remember my boy from Costa Rica?
Yeah.
You know, I brought him in, and he was staying with us for like a week or two here in Houston. And I was like,
Costa
man, just
Rica?
come. Yeah.
We went to Costa Rica.
Yeah, Costa Rica.
Romantico.
Yeah, romantico.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So, see. So I brought him in, and I remember he was just like telling me the same thing. He was like, we don't do abs. We're not gonna do abs. And I was like, no. I was like, I've said I've been here for a few months. I was like, I've only been with you for a few months at the time. And I was like, never done. And I've never even questioned you about it.
Yeah.
Because you had abs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I remember I asked you because he was there, and it was an easy way for me to ask you without me asking you.
Yeah.
Right? And so he asked, and you were like, you know, abs are made in the kitchen. You know? And I was like, what the hell does that mean? You know?
Go to the kitchen, start doing abs.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you started telling me about macros, and then that's
Yeah.
when I started getting interested about, you know, macronutrition, and you put me on that. And you told me, you gave me these numbers.
Yeah.
And you were like, just follow it. And I was like, well, how do I follow it? And I remember you were like, well, you see the little numbers in the back of the can? Just focus on these three, right? And try to hit this budget that I give you
Yeah.
for the week or whatever, and you're going to start to see a change in your physique. But listen to me.
Yeah.
Continue to do the workouts. Listen to me, and I guarantee, right, if you're 160 now, and, you know, if you stay on this diet, I would say in the next 2 months or so, you know, you told me 2 or 3 months, you'll be at your high school weight, 145, but shredded, lean, you know,
Yeah.
with built endurance, stamina, like ready to go.
Yeah.
And that was all what I was always scared of, that as a B-boy, this is why I was anti-weightlifting at first, because you hear all these things. Oh, it's going to make you heavy. You're going to get, you know, bulky. Dude, like, literally, it was opposite. Like, I didn't really bulk up, but, like, you know, I built muscle.
Yeah.
I built muscle, but I would say maybe 2 pounds at the most.
Yeah,
3
you
pounds.
have a real pretty big transformation whenever I see your pictures of when you started to like now.
Yeah.
I miss Fat Moy.
But yeah, you're a little bit more
Chubby.
huskier.
Yeah, dude, and that blew
Fat Moy.
that.
And the
that-
muscle was a little bit smaller.
I didn't have, like, you made me realize I didn't have no muscle, like literally, and you changed that. I'm like, and when I started like noticing it in pictures, I was like, wow, this is mind blowing. You know, this really just was like, this is why I listen to you.
Hmm.
And since being at Flex Level, I mean, I've been at Flex Level, 3 years now or so.
Yeah.
And since being at Flex Level, anybody that has ever worked with you or any of your trainers, I can say it's been 100% success rate if they stuck with the program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's mind blowing. I got my wife, she was like anti macro,
Oh, yeah.
anti everything,
Oh, yeah.
and then she came in and she started beasting. She's
Yeah.
super strong.
Well,
and then she started losing weight and stuff when Joanna put her on her trainer,
Yeah.
put her on macros.
Well, with different people, the way we train people also has evolved as it should. It should always evolve. If you think about the way you've taught people in the past, up to teaching everyone how to breakdance now.
Of course.
It's not so much. After a certain time, it's not just technique. It's individualized, and you start. I noticed myself starting to listen a little bit more into not only some podcasts, but actually looking into some actual research in the way teachers are with their students. Because some of the best teachers, their best moments were 20 years into teaching, 25 years into teaching. And so if you listen to a few of those podcasts, they really have some good takeaways that you can apply with people and how to get them to understand something, just like any boxing coach would do, any dancing instructor, or just like us personal trainers. It really helps you kind of unlock that person to see how they're going to be more adherent to a type of method, whether it be portion control, whether it be just having a calorie budget with a single macro like protein, bodybuilders and macronutrients, being flexible, steps. You kind of learn a little bit more of that person, and then that's how they're going to be able to be a little bit more adherence and successful.
And the funny thing is, you mentioned steps. I remember when you first put me on steps, you were like, yeah, just walk around. Just walk around until you hit this amount of steps.
Yeah.
He was like, just go about your day, right? Get as many steps as you can, just doing your normal you, right? Whatever your dailies are, right?
Yeah.
And then if you don't hit them, just walk around somewhere until you get to this goal. And I remember, again, just listening to you, trusting it, doing it, I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. Because I would spend my mornings before I went to Flex Level running at 4 or 5 a.m., like beating myself up, right? Trying to lose weight, build up my stamina. And I remember you told me to do steps. And even when I would have friends, and then I always bring them to the gym, but when I had friends, some of the monster guys come in town, they would see me just walk around, and they're like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm like, just walking.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what's that for?
Yeah, you had a step budget too as well. And just like you said, you're beating yourself up.
Yeah.
Okay. So, whenever I have my orientation class, I usually ask a lot of questions from the audience, from the crowd. Whenever I talk about HIIT cardio is really popular. High intensity interval training.
Yeah.
And even one of my first mentors, Dr. Lane Norton, he's the one who really popularized HIIT cardio. Okay. And then it became its own marketing monster. Okay,
Yeah.
They even have gyms that are predicated on calling themselves the HIIT place.
I didn't know that.
I would say most gyms.
Yeah, most gyms. Yeah, exactly.
That's
Because it's hardcore and it's
that's
something
their marketing.
to sell.
I didn't know that Lane
Now-
Norton popularized that.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
But now he'll still go on record today and say that, hey, it's not what we thought it was. Okay,
Yeah.
but of course they're like, well that's cool and cute, but we already made a marketing monster out of this and it's selling good. So thanks, but no thanks. We're good.
Wow.
And the main reason why is that so many bodybuilders and people that were 25 to 45 years old were like, okay, I guess we need to go push a car and I guess we need to go do sprints.
Yeah.
And then we're getting very injured.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when steps are equaled, per the end of the day, there's not going to be any real significant fat burning difference. Okay, so if there is 4 of me, one's walking, jogging, running, and sprinting, and we all had a step goal of 15K a day, then it's still going to result in the same kind of fat mass, fat loss.
Whether the sprinter or the runner hit it in 2 hours and it took you 9 hours to do it, they still burnt the same amount of fat.
Yeah. Now here's the crazy thing is that we're over here sprinting. If I ask anybody like, hey, do you know how to sprint? They're like, of course, that's stupid. Of course I know how to sprint.
But they don't.
But yeah, they don't. Okay, because imagine me taking them to a really high college collegiate style where they have actual professional sprinters and cross country runners, and they were in there and they were showing them how they quote unquote sprint or run. That's exactly what they're going to say. It's just like fighting. Okay, just like fighting. If I ask anybody, hey, you know how to fight? Oh yeah, I know how to fight. I get it. You connect my fist to your face. Yeah. Okay, so then we start fighting, and a boxing coach is watching this. He's like, no, y'all don't know a thing about fighting. Mm-hmm. Everything you're doing is wrong. You're going to end up breaking your wrist. Okay, so a lot of people end up getting injured doing this HIIT cardio, and it's going to get them out of the game to begin. Okay, they're going to get inflammation in their hips, ankles, hairline fractures. Yeah. Ankles are going to get swollen. They get pulled and strained hamstrings. If you're going to do something that's going to negatively affect you in the gym, then you're doing something wrong.
But everybody can walk.
Yeah, out of the 4, out of walking, jogging, running, and sprinting, I'm a big fan of walking and jogging. Jogging because it's going to cut the time in half. And they got when it's great weather outside. I know the treadmill can be boring. I mean, thank goodness now we have things like this, podcast, YouTube that you can watch on the treadmill. But if you want to go outside and just kill some time and watch the scenery,
which we do a lot, we do that a lot.
Yeah, then you can jog and then cut the time. Yeah. You can skip if you want. What
about skipping? Let's talk about that.
There was one year where I was skipping. I was trying to make it a thing. It didn't catch.
Does the output double when you hold hands? And
innovation.
I think so.
Innovation. Flex level innovation.
I was trying to get people to skip, but
very interesting.
But that's how we get people to lose weight. And I've had champion bodybuilders that look like they just have 0 body fat on them, and they were just walking. Yeah. And the best thing about that is when it comes to a bodybuilder, when they're at their very lowest of calories, when they're at their highest steps, just to get them to something that their body does not want to do, like get to like no body fat percentage, the last thing you want to do is kick their butt like on the cardio. That's going to negatively affect their body, and that's whenever their cortisol levels going to go. That's when they can start retaining water.
And then correct me if I'm wrong, but also doing too much cardio could burn your muscle, right? So if you're like working on building your muscle mass or whatever, too much cardio could eat into that. Yes or no?
A little bit. A little bit. It's going to be different factors. It's going to be added factors to that, and like I said, just losing too much weight per week. That seems to be the main factor. But the other ways are going to be indirect ways of why you're going to end up losing some lean muscle tissue. But if you can just get away with it without having to put your body through any kind of other damage, then you just working out and being on very low calories and low body fat, then it's going to make for a better result whenever you walk on stage.
Yeah. Real quick, I know we kind of briefly, whenever I mentioned macros, we briefly touched on that, but for people that are tuning in and watching,
I still break dance?
That too, but
we'll give them later.
If you can give some examples or give them a little bit more insight on what macronutrition or flexible dieting is,
Okay.
And why this is the diet, and why you think it's the diet, right?
Okay. Well, here's the funny thing is because and you'll be this way too. We start really seeing this as we get older. Okay, because me and Moy, we were the young kids yesterday. Okay, and now we're not.
Wait, what? Speak for yourself, buddy.
Yeah.
So
let's clarify that. It doesn't include me.
So when I remember when I was 20, I remember picking up my first Flex magazine, and I used to read all the Flex magazines, the muscular development magazines, muscle and what we call now muscle and fiction magazines. But we used to look at all the diets and everything, and I remember thinking that a keto diet, a low carb diet was something brand new. Okay, this is something new. And I remember some older cats at the gym, some dietitians when I was younger. They were bodybuilders and they're actual registered dietitians. and they would tell me, oh, it's not new. It's just came back up again. And I'm like, whatever, old person. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, this is science. This is Flex Magazine. You don't know. Like, we're evolving as a species. No, we're not. But, this is me thinking as a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 21-year-old. And it's funny to see the wheel turn, now as I'm approaching 35, that,
hey, you're in the same boat.
Yeah. It's funny to see, whenever all the greens juicing, whenever that came back around again. I mean, these things have been coming out since 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. But trends. Everyone's always going to think that is so brand new. And we just have to sit here and just continue to listen as the wheel spins for it to make its way back around again, to be the biggest craze. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, I said, I ask people, I said, hey, who in here has been on diets, whether it be paleo, keto, carnivore diet, Weight Watchers, South Beach, intermittent fasting, clean eating? And everyone's like, oh yeah, we all tried these. I said, do they work? They say, well, I get mixed answers. And yes, no, sometimes if you're on it. And I'm like, all these diets work. All of them work, okay? They even have a famous study of the Twinkie diet, okay? So a professor, and he wasn't even trying to make this very global, but it became very global. Made a lot of people upset too, because a lot of people get upset with
after
facts.
You tell this story, I want to make people more upset.
Okay. All right.
I have a question.
Okay, so people get really upset with facts, okay, and evidence.
Really?
So that's why we're the evidence-based practitioners, personal trainers. He ate Twinkies, and this was for his students, and he ate Twinkies, and he was able to lose a great deal of weight. I believe in about 3 to 6 months, and afterwards he also had everything checked, a lot of blood work done. Everything was fine and okay. So there it is, right there. He lost all this kind of weight eating Twinkies, and that made a lot of people upset that he did that, because they're like, oh, what are you promoting? He's like, well, I'm not really promoting anything. I'm just trying to tell y'all guys that there is an energy in, energy out basis, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, of course, would he want to eat Twinkies all the time? No, he is missing some micronutrients, but the main gist of it, the main point he was trying to make is that, it wasn't that Twinkies were just so fattening. It's just that he was only eating 1,500 calories a day. 1,500 calories a day, I mean, that just sucks in general. If you substitute that with cabbage, it's going to suck, okay? Yeah. Those are very low calories. If it was 1,000 calories, you'd lose even faster, and your body would be that much more in shock, okay? So that being said, when it comes to flexible dieting, we make it a little bit more realistic, more practical, okay? In the research, it shows that the main reason why people fail for the diets is because a lot of it's going to be social scenarios, okay? So us guys, we want to go out this weekend, well, I don't have any options, okay? We want to go watch a fight or a football game at a bar. I want to have a few drinks. Well, the trainer that I have now, he gave me no options. He just told me to eat chicken breast and brown rice. I have to ask the people, do you see yourself eating chicken breast and brown rice all year? Do you see yourself eating it for the next 10 years? Do you see yourself eating it when you're 65, 95 on your deathbed, taking a look back at your life saying, wow, my life was so awesome eating my chicken breast and brown rice? Yeah. It's not very awesome, and it's also not very practical, okay? So when they get presented with scenarios of, hey, let's go to the movies. Hey, there's a wedding. Let's go out to a restaurant, okay? One of our friends just got promoted. We're all going to go to Outback Steakhouse. Mm-hmm. But while the waiter's over there checking everyone's meal, you have your hands crossed in your lap saying like, well, I'm on a diet. I really can't eat nothing like that. Well, not only that, but your trainer has failed you already by giving you absolutely zero options.
Those people suck.
Yeah.
They make dinners really awkward.
They do. They make dinners really awkward.
Well, I think everyone knows.
Everyone knows them. So what we try to do is try to make it more practical, okay? And also telling them that it's okay to eat bread. It's okay to eat popcorn or brown rice or white rice. It's all the same thing, okay?
I remember I would post pictures eating stacks of pancakes, and I would just post my diet is better than yours.
Yeah.
And people would be like, bro, that's so bad for you.
Oh, of course, yeah. So we don't like to tell people that there are bad foods and good foods. We like to tell people that this food may be calorically expensive, I probably wouldn't want to eat that because it's calorically expensive. Okay, that means it's just full of a lot of fat, which fat is already more than doubled the amount of calories in a protein and carbohydrate. Okay, so I tell them, like I said, but if you do want it, you can fit it into your calories, and you don't even have to be that anal if you don't want to and hit your calories perfect, but you could still be in a range. Okay, so this sets them up for more actual days of success as opposed to, crap, I went over all my calories, let me just mess up the whole day now, or just not be in any kind of options of that. So now they can go to the steakhouse, and now we have amazing apps. I mean, we didn't have these apps. You should have seen me. You should have seen me 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I had like notebooks of pencils and calculators and mathematics.
You still have those?
No, I don't have those anymore. But now we have apps. Okay, so these apps you can easily either scan things or
calculates it for you.
Yeah,
right there.
calculates it for you. So now you can just go based off of calories or macros or whatever.
You mentioned all these diets, and you said that they work.
Yeah,
they do work. But can I ask, do they work? Do they work when they have that macronutrient aspect to it? Like,
no,
you can be on this diet, but the reason why it's working is because of the caloric deficit.
Yes.
That's the reason.
And so that's why I have to tell people that these diets are working. Okay, it's because you've created a caloric deficit. So I have a girl and a guy arguing with me. I have a girl that's doing very low carbohydrates because she's following Cameron Diaz's diet and she really likes Cameron Diaz. And I got this guy that's following a low fat diet because he likes Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's following his diet. Well, part of the reason why they were able to be successful both equally is because, first off, she really likes Cameron Diaz. He really likes The Rock. So they really want to follow their heroes' diets. So what also helps spark and keep motivation is when they actually do see the scale moving, then that builds, and it builds into a funnel of motivation. Yeah, and it builds into a funnel of motivation. So then they continue to lose weight. So 3 weeks later, when they run into each other, they're like, "Oh man, you lost 15 pounds. So did you? You look great." And she says, "Yeah, I didn't. I never realized up until today that carbs are the devil." And then he's like, "Whoa, wait a minute, what? No, The Rock says you need your carbs. Yeah, fat is what's bad." They get into a big argument, and then it's a very funny argument because they're both winning because they both lost already 15 pounds, and they're arguing about something that they both successfully achieved. Okay. What I try to help people understand is if you tend to really like low carbohydrates, then that's what we're going to give you. If you tend to like low fat, that's what we're going to give you. But we want you to understand that it's because you're at 1650 calories.
Yeah.
You know, it's that you created a big enough deficit. Is that you're moving more and you're sticking with that. Okay. So people come to me sometimes and they're like, "Hey, you know, I heard all this stuff and it's great. I want to sign up with you, but I do intermittent fasting." Okay. And I'm like, "I don't care. That's fine. I don't care if you eat one meal." Yeah. I'm giving you 1750 calories. I don't care if you eat it in one meal or 6 meals. Okay.
It's the same.
Yeah, as long as it's there. And what we can do is we're going to start giving you exercises. And as your weight trends start either declining or increasing, then that's when we step in and we'll be able to adjust the calories from there.
Or their training, right? Like the step count, right?
Yeah. So we either adjust their step count. We also do periodization type of training. So we actually write down people's workouts, and we're always trying to make sure that not only that they're getting stronger through total volume per week, but it's really cool when it's written down on paper because, man, you should see some of the people who are just, they never lifted a weight in their life, and then they go back to...
Well, it's a great way to track progression,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Because if not, you constantly tell them, "No, you're getting stronger." But, "Well, I don't feel like it."
Yeah.
Well, just look at the paperwork.
Yeah. Even whenever we have them take a break, or as we call deloads, and we have them reduce weight by about 40 to 50%, and their deload weight is they couldn't even lift it, a few months ago.
Yeah.
Well, real quick before, I know you had a question, but I wanted to talk about this question that I had for you, right? So you briefly mentioned, good foods and bad foods,
Yes,
right? And
yes.
that's why you try to stay away from when people say, "Oh, this is good, this is bad." You're more speaking on a well-balanced diet, right? You can eat whatever you want, but just hit this number, right? Balance that diet out. So this is leading to where I want to ask you, like, what do you think about like drinking too much Coke Zeros or eating too much fatty foods or something where people say, well, if you eat too much of that, that's going to cause cancer, or if you eat too much of this, it's going to it's going to make your cholesterol really, really high. You know, so it's always some type of health issue because, you know, I drink a lot of Coke Zeros. And a lot of people are always telling me, bro, you should not drink Coke, right? Because it's really, really bad for you, right?
Well, you know, the funny thing about Coke is
it has aspartame.
Well, you know, even when I ask people, I say, hey, how much percentage of water do you think is in a Diet Coke? And I get all kinds of answers. And it's funny, I actually got this about maybe about 12 years ago, 13 years ago, when I was going from Fitness Connection to 24-hour fitness. I had a fitness manager tell me the same scenario. But when you say how much water percentage is in a Diet Coke, you know, and I ask everybody, you know, give me 0 through 100, and be like, it's probably about like 30% water, 40% water, 20% water, 15% water, and then I look at them and I say, well, it's 99, it's 99% water. They're like, what? No, you know, total mind blown. I'm like, yeah, a Coca-Cola, a Diet Coke, a Diet drink, a Diet Monster is 99% water. And this should go without saying, but they still did the studies anyways. But when compared for hydration, okay, of water and a Diet Coke, the hydration levels were the same. Now, why were they the same? Because it's 99% water. Okay, I try to tell people, I said if it was anything less, it'd be like mud or sludge or semen or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
So I tell them it's the same thing as grabbing a water bottle and getting that little Mio. You know, you get the little Mio Crystal Light thing, and you just squirt it in there, right? Well, that's the same thing with what a Diet Coke is. The only difference is once they squirt that little liquid in there and they carbonate it, and then there you go. Okay.
Wow.
Now, they have a lot of research showing the ways Diet Coke actually helps you lose weight. All right, and it's usually not in the way that people believe or think. The main reason why Diet Coke helps you lose weight is that it curbs your sweet tooth. Okay, it gives you something good that's tasty that has 0 calories in it. Okay, so it's not adding to your daily caloric value. All right, so even as somebody like me, whenever I'm dieting down, I'm getting ready for a bodybuilding show. At night, I'll have tilapia, shrimp, brown rice, and I like to crack open a can of Coke Zero or a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Cans always taste better than a bottle. I don't know why, but I mean that's really tasting good to me. So then that keeps me in the game, and that's what it's all about too.
Yeah.
So I was going to say what it sounds like to me, because earlier you talked about being a teacher and, you know, looking at each individual and personalizing and knowing what it is and having respect for everyone's unique body type, whatever each one is. And that's important too. But going to this macro diet, it seems like that is pretty much the foundation. And what is true and what will always be true until the end of time is that's what the essence and simplifying diets should always start with. And then if you do well with the low carb and you personally do that, then that's fine. But you need to foundation that with macro dieting.
A little bit. I just like for them to understand more so. So in other words, I wouldn't if it was my grandma, I wouldn't give my grandma a cell phone and say, here, follow these macros. Okay, because she barely learned how to start texting like last year. Let alone I'm going to give her numbers to start reading. So with her, I might do a swap out. Okay, portion control swap out. So just like you were saying, the main key thing is just to individualize, see what kind of person they are, see how old they are, okay? See what, you can even go as far as seeing what kind of religion that they follow. I mean, I do talks at a Islamic center, okay, for nutrition, okay? Whenever it's time for them to have their yearly fasting, I go in there, try to help them out, okay? So that's something that I had to research on too, just so I'm making sure that I'm getting everything right and correct whenever I speak to them. But what nationality they are, they're Hispanic, Black, White, Asian, every culture is going to have a different vibe to them, you know, and you got to be able to
adjust.
You got to have to help adjust. It's just like MMA. You know, when people talk about flexible dieting, I like to really think about MMA. So you got boxing, Chinese boxing, you got kickboxing, you got judo, jeet kune do, you got all these kind of fighting skills. And what did Bruce Lee kind of create? Okay, he created that, a lot of people say that he is the creator of MMA.
MMA, yeah.
So he said, hey, you can't just go based off of one single style. You have to be able to adjust wherever you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're getting in a fight and boxing ain't working, then you got to get to wrestling. Okay, if wrestling ain't working, you got to get to some kickboxing. So that being said, you know, we joke around a lot of times at my gym, like when we went to the Renaissance Festival, we're like, well, we're going to be super paleo when we go to Renaissance Festival.
Yeah.
Because all we're going to be doing is eating steak on a stick, all
Yeah.
right? At this certain time, we could be a little bit more paleo. This time, we could be a little bit more ketogenic diet. So you can always
But
just
it's always
adjust.
foundation with that macro
Yes,
diet.
yes. So that's where we get the term flexible dieting. To me, it's just the same thing as like MMA. It's being able to be flexible to at wherever you're surrounding, wherever you happen to be, is to adjust to the situation. Okay, if you're at a wedding and there's going to be cake, you can adjust to the situation and be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go a little bit lower protein today, and I'm not going to lose all my gains if I go lower protein and go higher fat, higher carbohydrates, or if I go a little bit over my calories.
Yeah, really quick, we got a question here, and I believe it's from Baby Girl. She says, my son wants to know, he has been on the weight gainer for 4 months, minimized cardio, gained 15 pounds, but now is at a standstill with his weight gain, and this is to bulk up. What is he missing?
Working out. I mean, let's just say, he is. It's a boy, right? Yeah, son.
Yeah.
Let's just say he is working out. Now it really does take time.
Yeah.
Okay, especially when it's a growing young boy. You think that it's going to continue to be in a linear position of just, hey, if I'm up 15 pounds in the course of 6 months, then I should technically be 15
Another
pounds in the
15,
next 6 months. Yeah. But at some point, you just have to start looking a little bit more towards your workout, okay? So that's one thing that I really stress a lot with how to actually gain muscle is put it on paper, okay? Do a linear periodization or progressive overload. What progressive overload means is just increasing in volume per week. So either increase in weight that you're lifting, increase in the sets that you're doing, or increase in the reps that you're doing. Okay, if you're keeping track and you're getting stronger and stronger, then you're just gonna have to play the waiting game, and the muscle's gonna get built as long as you're in a surplus.
Another thing I remember you telling me too when I first started working out with you is that it's important to stay like on a structured workout.
Yes.
And because I remember when I would just go to the gym, I wouldn't lift, but I would go there to do cardio or do other things. I would see these guys just pick up weights and like mad heavy weights and just lift, put them down, go somewhere else, do something else.
Yeah.
But it looked like there was no organization, no structure.
Well, yeah, I mean,
But when I started working with you, it was like Monday was this, Tuesday was that, and my schedule still falls like that, you know?
well, you know, it's like going to a college and just going straight to their library before you actually start signing up for classes and being like, well, I'm just going to start learning random stuff. Okay, you can learn like that, but to be able to be in actual classes and be like, hey, this is your set schedule, and the next semester is going to change in advance. It's the same thing as going into a boxing gym and just randomly hitting the bag. You know, yeah, you can get with the coach, and he will actually give you a program. Program is how you're going to be able to excel a lot faster and light speed. Okay, so when people sign up with us, we actually put things on paper and say, hey, let's make sure that you actually are getting stronger and you're not just going in there and just killing it. Now, you know, we really love structure at the gym as far as working out because it's awesome. But at the same time, we don't try to. If we go out, if I go out to one of my conferences, or I have guests come down to Houston and they want to work out, and this is not you see, this is where I also feel like some of my science muscle nerds get a little bit too anal with the structure of a coach, is that they never want to get out of that structure. So if today was a push-pull a day, there's nothing that you can do that's going to change their mind to not do anything besides that. But if it's somebody that's from out of town that you're really good friends with, that's, you know, it could be very popular, or like just like y'all have special guests that come in here to breakdance, we have special guests that come in and want to weightlift, and they want to do some squats, and they happen to be an expertise at squats and have something to give you valuable. I don't care what day it is. I'm going to switch up my workout right then and there. I was like, hey, let's work out squats, and nothing is going to be like lost. You'd be surprised how many times I went to places with conferences, and we all got to meet up, and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm always the first one. I do have a structure, okay? But if they want to go and do something else, I'm down to do whatever they want to do.
For sure.
I don't care if I just did squats 2 days ago. If I have the chance to squat with someone who's a professional squatter, like our other muscle monster boy, Matt Somar, then I'm going to squat with him. Okay.
That dude's a beast.
Yeah, he's a beast.
What was he squatting, like 800?
Almost 900 pounds.
That's insane.
Yeah,
Huh,
yeah.
interesting.
This guy's crazy.
Squatting 900 pounds.
Yeah, he's
Very
my
interesting.
muscle monster brother. Yeah.
Only squatting I do is on the toilet. You know what I'm saying?
But just like you, if you go travel with someone and someone wants to do a unique style of breakdancing, you're going to do that too.
And sometimes 900 pounds comes out.
Yeah.
Well, just saying.
I'm on a
Yeah.
caloric deficit.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Do any celebrities promote flexible dieting, or any like you mentioned The Rock and like people who are known as celebrities, like fitness celebrities, are not particularly fitness celebrities, but celebrities are known to be fit. Like, is there any? I don't hear that a lot.
Yes,
Yeah, 'cause
yes, there. Yes,
Hollywood is like eating clean, organic.
yes. I would say that there is. I do know a few. Whenever I go out to Venice Beach, California, but to be honest, the most.
But not like Hollywood. Like, I don't hear it in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right?
It is coming around. I mean, even with the Mr. Olympias, they all get it now. Okay, they weren't talking about macros 10 years ago. I promise you this. Okay, but now all the Olympians are all like, well, and even they were bashing it. They were even bashing it 10 years ago, and now you hear all their nutrition, and it's all about macros to them.
Wow.
Okay, so yeah, it is catching up.
Yeah.
Yeah, real quick, the recent Mr. Olympia, he's been to your gym before,
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that's
that?
right. Yeah.
Who's that?
Sean Roden.
Sean Roden.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
yeah, we even got a picture with him right next to the muscle.
The Monster Fridge.
Monster. Yeah,
Yeah.
Monster
Nice.
Energy.
And one thing I was going to mention is now I want to kind of transition and talk about your gym because you're a business owner. This is your
Yeah.
gym. We've talked about it. Flex Level Fitness. We've seen, people who follow us in the B-boy world have seen us tag it multiple times. But like this gym, I think what makes it really special, I think besides the trainers, you guys do an amazing job at what you guys do, but the equipment, it's different. It's different than any other gym. It's like specialty equipment. And I know when a lot of these conferences are here in town, these bodybuilding, these muscle and fitness, a lot of these elite athletes come to your gym.
Yes,
They come to your gym because it's a one-of-a-kind place. It really is.
Yeah, we've even had, which I would even say is even more popular than Mr. Olympia, is Dana Lynn Bailey, Rob Bailey. I mean, those guys are juggernauts and just entrepreneurial. I mean, even their supplements is called Run Everything Labs. I mean, they literally run everything. And it was really cool.
Lane Norton, you've had Lane Norton there?
Yeah, Lane Norton, have Cass Martin. I've had Miss Olympia Bikini there too, as well. Yeah, I've had a lot of people. I've had a lot of scientists, a lot of amazing scientists that have done all kinds of research.
Jeremy and Moy.
I've had Jeremy
Come
and
on,
I've had
baby.
Moy, the phenom.
Yeah.
But yeah, people come there because they take notice of what's going on and what my vision is, and I had this vision, and it's still not complete yet, but it's always progressing.
Yeah.
But I had this vision maybe about 7 years ago, after being with Dr. Lane Norton, Dr. Joe Klemzeski, Sean McCauley, and then watching Eric Helms and the 3DMJ crew. One thing where it was a realization that wow, there is a lot of information that trainers don't know. Okay, trainers don't know what they're doing, and it's actually it's not only is it the way I was looking at it back then is that such a disservice to the person who's paying. Okay,
Right.
but it's also a very big disservice to the actual trainer too. Okay, because a lot of times they just don't know. All right, they think that their education is top of the line and that's it. Okay, so in my brain, I said I want to make a facility where we're all in the same training style. Okay, so that's whenever I got with Luke and Lawrence with Shredded by Science, and now at my gym, you're not even allowed to be a trainer there unless you're Shredded by Science certified, and that takes like a whole year.
So what is Shredded by Science?
The first 6 months, it's a year-long course on the most recent evidence-based training styles, nutrition. So the first 6 months is kind of like an NASM. It's very only more advanced.
So again, just for people that don't know, what's NASM?
National Academy Strength Medicine certification. I believe I got that right. But that's the main one to get hired onto a 24-hour fitness.
So to put it into perspective, earlier you said it took you 2 days to do the one for Fitness Connection, right?
Yes. Well,
And-
that was just a branch of NASM.
Yeah.
NASM's a little bit longer, but it's still, in my opinion, fairly easy.
Yeah.
This is a way more advanced
So
version
2
of that.
days versus a year.
Yes. So the first 6 months is kind of like that certification, only more advanced. And then the second 6 months, the first 3 months is how to get a bodybuilder ready for a contest show, which some trainers may be listening right now like, well, I don't want to get bodybuilders ready. But you actually learn so much information, even from there, that you can even apply to clients when it comes to extreme dieting, the way the body works when you're so low in a caloric state and when your body is very low in body fat. And then after that, it's powerlifting for 3 months. Okay, so then I got some trainers that are like, well, I don't want to do anything with powerlifting. Okay, but there's a lot of structure and strength gains that you'll learn from just the 3 months of powerlifting that you can just take small little bits and pieces and apply that to your normal clients. So the whole program is just amazing, and it goes with everything that is in current research, and that's what we strive for. And even at my gym, we make it a point that even when you're a trainer there and you're Shredded by Science certified, that you're required at least one continuing education class a year. So in other words, you have to fly out, go to a conference that is that we accept at.
And you guys go to a lot of those, man.
Yeah.
You guys travel all year long trying to go
Well,
to
you
these
know, because
conferences.
we're all in the same field. We love hanging out with everyone, networking, but we have some great conversations. You know,
Yeah.
not only do we learn things from just different avenues of exercise physiologists, registered dietitians, but also psychologists, food psychologists. That's an amazing field that they can try to break it down into bite-sized pieces for us, because we aren't the scientists. Okay, my best friends in the whole world are scientists. Okay, we're the personal trainers that have to try to make it practical. Okay, so we're here to try to bridge the gap. We're like, okay, I understand all the research, I understand the meta-analysis. Now, how are they going to understand the matrix of what you just said?
I
You
didn't
know,
understand
'cause-
anything you just said.
like, how are they going to understand? Let me break it down to them because I can speak their language a little bit better.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why we go to these things.
Can you break it down again?
We didn't hear anything you just said right now.
Meta Hausa?
Yeah, Meta who?
Well, you know, and
Meta World Peace? What's
well, you have to think about
Ron
this. This is what we love to listen to. Okay, so we love to go there and nerd out. Okay, that's what we love to do.
And then you
But
translate that.
yes,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes if the regular person, you know, that goes to one of these places, listen to them, they don't know what they just said. It was another language that just went over their head.
Yeah.
Okay, we can break it down for you and say, okay, this is what it is.
But this ensures that you know what the hell you're talking
Yes.
about.
Yeah, and so everybody tuning in, just want to shout your gym out, man. Follow them on Instagram at Flex Level Fitness. If you're ever in Houston, make sure to drop in. An amazing gym, amazing environment, amazing people that truly care. I mean,
Get your
you
mind
guys,
blown real quick.
yeah, you guys like show love to everybody that walks through the door.
Oh, yeah.
You
The
know,
break free
and the reason
fitness world.
the reason why I say that's a really good example.
Yeah.
You know, the reason why I say that, because I've been to other gyms and people are jerks, man.
Yeah.
Like, people think they're all bad and this and that. I remember just walking into a GNC one time and this dude looked super unhealthy, fat, and like, just, you know, he was looking at me like weird, like if I didn't know what I was doing, right? Because he saw me looking at the back of like the power bars and the wrappers, and
Yeah.
I'm looking at the numbers.
Before Eric or after Eric?
No, this is during Eric.
During Eric.
Right?
Oh.
And I'm telling him,
it's like-
you know, what I was looking for, and he was like, "That's weird. Why are you on such low fat? You know, I'm on 200 fat, bro. You know." And I'm like, at that point, I already knew enough to argue with him, but I'm just like, I'm not gonna do it. But the dude, he wasn't even being, like, as a customer, whether you believe in that and I believe in this, he just wasn't being helpful. And I felt like that a lot of other gyms that I've walked into, people are like that.
Well, you know, and I like the way you say that, because, you know, I in my younger years I would argue, you know, a lot, but now it's how you actually it's how you come off on people. You know, it's everyone's trying to relay the same message. It's just their the way that they what's the word?
Convey.
Yeah, the way they convey it to
Express.
you is going to be completely different. It could be threatening or non-threatening. Okay, so I went to go do a nutrition talk to a pretty buff gym. Okay, this gym has a lot of swole guys in there. You know.
So we were there.
Yeah, so you guys are definitely there.
I remember.
And the way I presented it to them, you have to talk very non-threatening, okay?
Yeah.
Because no one's going to listen to you if you're just going to go in there and say, "Hey, y'all dumb and I'm smart, haha." Nobody likes that. They don't care if you're correct or not.
Those guys
okay?
are the worst.
Yeah, because
Well-
you basically deal with people who have this mentality and train of thought and think they know that they're right
Yes.
for so long.
Yes.
And you come in and you just
I,
completely
yes,
flip it upside
yeah,
down.
but you know, I gotta let them know that you know the way you deliver it is going to be completely is going to be more for their success. Okay, so you know, I don't go in and tell them that they're dumb or this or that. And for a lot of times, they are eating the right foods. I just kind of break it down and just say, hey, you know what? Just letting you know that
You simplify things.
Yeah, I do. I simplify things. I say, hey, listen, I understand that you guys like brown rice, okay? And I'm not going to tell them to eat candy, but I am going to say, if you wanted half a cup of brown rice that has 22 grams of carbs, you can also have white rice that has 22 grams of carbs. Which, to be honest, whenever I ask them like how many grams of carbs are even in brown rice, because I know they love brown rice, they don't even, none of them know how many grams are. So I say, okay, we have brown rice, we have white rice. You can eat a white potato, sweet potato. These are all equivalent. I asked them. I said, hey, what about the rice cakes, the caramel rice cakes? They go, oh yeah, we like that. I said, did you know that one of those has 11 carbs and 2 of those have 22? 22 is the same as half a cup of brown rice, which is 22. I said, what about popcorn? You ever had the 100-calorie pack popcorn? That whole bag is 21 grams of carbs. It's the exact same equivalent.
I love popcorn.
I said, what about corn tortillas? I said, you have one of those that has 10 carbs, so 2 of those have 20 carbs. Those are all equivalent. 20 carbs, 21 carbs, 22 carbs.
Speaking of corn tortillas, look who just walked in.
Danny
from Taqueria del Sol.
Taqueria del Sol, he's
Boys.
one of my sponsors, so y'all guys want to
Yeah, he's one
check
of our
out.
One of
sponsors
our
too.
sponsors too, baby. That boy Danny.
Yeah, so even he knows. Okay, he
He dumb. That boy dumb.
he dumb.
Danny Dumb? Danny Dumb.
No, even he knows
Working at a
from
taqueria,
running the most successful taqueria in Houston actually.
45.
45 right on the freeway.
Yeah,
He does
Right,
know,
right
he,
in the middle of the freeway.
He does know how. He knows from coming to Flex Level what calories are, how to get tortillas with chicken in there with light salsa. I mean, salsa is going to be so little on calories. It's something that you can actually achieve. So after the conference, or after the lecture at the gym, I had one of the girls come up to me and say, "Thank you for doing this so much. My boyfriend right here, he needed to hear you." And then the boyfriend says, "Well, you did not say it like he said it." And then she goes, "Okay, yeah, that's true. You delivered it a lot
both
better."
needed to hear
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you said it way better, because I know how sometimes the significant other can be saying some of the things and how I can be saying it. I can say it a little bit more clearer and non like, "Hey, dummy, you need to go listen to Eric," or something like that. You know? So like you
Yeah,
said,
man,
that's how
people
you
are rude,
deliver it.
and that's why I wanted to talk about your gym, because, man, like, seriously, even when I first went there, because it's intimidating, I'm not going to lie. I don't care who you are. Anybody that goes to the gym doesn't know nothing about lifting, and you get put around people who lift all day and have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
That's intimidating, right? No, if you're lifting 5 pounds and they're lifting 100 pounds, it's like, dang. You know, but never have I ever felt that in your gym. Even the people that I've brought, everyone's always like, dang, everyone's so cool. So now when people fly in town, everybody's like, man, I want to go to your gym. I want to go.
Yeah,
you know?
we get that a lot now. So when people fly in, and they do the same thing with Break Free, the same thing with Danny and his place. But yeah, they want to go to that spot. They're like, hey, I'm in Texas, I'm in Houston. Are you there? I'm coming. You know.
Yeah. It's almost become like an attraction for people that know of this community, this culture. These are the places that you want to visit, right? Like Break Free, Flex Level.
Yeah.
Like and I think that's really dope that we've kind of developed that.
And you know,
because-
even when I'm I would have never thought of or considered myself a gym owner. Just like you. I mean, you're a break dancer. That's what you do. Okay. Me, I was a trainer, and I always wanted to be a bodybuilder, but my main passion was personal training. So that's what I was. So then I was a personal trainer, and then now I'm also a bodybuilder, and then it's a gym owner. So the gym owner thing is still,
Still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, you know, I'm still trying to figure it out.
Same
When
with
I
us.
talk to people like you, when I talk to people like the CEO of Shredded by Science, Luke Johnson, I'll talk to other gym owners too as well. When I talk to Rob and Dana Lynn Bailey, I mean, those guys, oh man. Rob, you know, both of them, they're gym owners now too, and they're just like,
they
wow.
are marketing beasts.
Yeah, they are. But but you know, they're really humbled by me and my beginnings, because they're like, we miss being right here in this spot. We miss this part of, because this was when it was fun.
Yeah.
They say once you start making, you know, so much money, you say, and you have more employees, now you have to deal with firing, you have to deal with hiring, you have to deal with suing.
Why do you smile?
I mean, these are not fun
Jeremy
things that
likes
you
to
want
fire
to do.
people.
No.
You know?
I was gonna say that's what all the rich people say. Is oh, I miss it. It's fun. Oh yeah.
You're fired.
Yeah, I was
This
thinking
is a fun
about
time.
hiring Jeremy just to come do the firing.
Dude, he'll do it, no problem.
Hit me up if you're a company and you need someone to fire people. I'm good at it, man.
Yo,
I don't know what it is.
But real quick, like, you have shared so much in just this little amount of time that I think that people that aren't tuning in, you know, are missing out, but can always come back and watch it. But it's always really cool to kind of catch it live and hear it,
Yeah.
and just witness this whole thing. But, you know, thank you for sharing so much in such little time. You know, we want to do something fun with you, man. We want to do something different, and I'll have Jeremy talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, so this is gonna be an introduction of you'll be the first person.
You'll be the first
You're about
person
to go down
We're
in history.
Yeah, because this is going to be the first time
Finna go down the history books.
we implement something to
So
our show.
MVP, hit that logo. This is the first edition of Where You At Though.
Where you at though? Where you at though?
Hey, on the real, we're gonna keep it 100. He just designed that logo like 5 minutes before you showed up.
Come on.
Put it up again. Put it up again.
Where you at? Hey! Oh, what was that?
That's a sound effect for the show.
Okay.
Put it one more time. One more time. Oh,
Where
my
you at,
goodness.
though?
With the graffiti drip. Oh my goodness. All right.
This
so
is the
what's gonna
drip.
happen.
This is the drip.
So this is what Where You At Though is we have an awesome blue screen. Can you just don't put anything on the blue screen? Can you just show the blue screen? That's our blue screen right there. And
Yeah.
come back to us. Obviously, it's a big blue screen. So it's a green screen / blue screen. And what's going to happen is, Eric, you're going to stand in front of it, and we're going to put 3 backgrounds, one at a time, all right?
Okay.
It's kind of like charades, when we're going to give you some clues, the best clues that we can give you, related to you. Some of them are related to you because we know you, we love you, some things that you like. And yeah, we're going to see if you can guess it, and then we're going to have some fun with that. That sound good?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So there's a way to, we're going to cut the TVs off, right?
Yeah, and we just did.
And you can reveal it whenever he gets it, right? All right, awesome. So take them headphones off, step behind a big, beautiful blue screen.
Yeah. Okay.
More, you can stay.
Try-
You can stay here at the mic. I'm gonna go help MVP.
Okay,
right?
cool. So, yeah, just kind of dead center there.
Remember, it's PG.
Dead center. This is fun. So if you're just tuning in, this is Eric Lee Salazar. We are implementing an awesome new idea, new concept to our show called Where You At Though. So we got Eric Lee Salazar stepping in front of the blue screen, and he's getting ready to act out some really cool situations.
All right. So the first one we got, MVP hit it. Let's make sure we get it.
Make sure, if you guys are tuning in, follow Eric Lee Salazar on Instagram at Eric Lee Salazar. This is an amazing dude,
It's live.
and let's have some fun. Let's
All
have
right,
some
wait. Let
fun.
me whisper the first one. On what it is.
Okay.
All right. So let's get with the clues. All right.
All right, Eric. So just imagine that you're in one of the hottest places,
Yes.
right? One of the hottest places ever.
Yes.
It's-
Actually, touch the wall.
Touch the wall. It's
Touch it.
scorching.
I don't know. No. Oh, don't touch it.
Oh. Okay, so it's hot.
Okay.
You should be burning up right now.
Yes. You could guess whenever you want. So. No. No.
Hotter than that.
No. Not that. Hotter than that.
sun.
Nope. No. Okay, so let's. Oh, all right. Second clue we can tell you.
You don't look hot.
It's a bad place. It's very.
Hell.
Ding 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 ding.
So now you're
Oh, Eric.
Eric Lee Salazar in hell.
For all your sins to the fitness community, we have sent you to hell. So now, what are you gonna? What's the first thing you're gonna do in hell?
What would you do in hell? So you're in hell right now.
This is hell.
This is hell.
This is hell.
On a blue screen. Okay. First thing I'll do, start burning off some of all this body fat.
Wow, that's a good one. Debunks.
Okay.
All right, so he got the first. Everyone, give him a clap, round of applause.
All right.
Take him out of hell. Take him out of hell. All right. Oh, look, we got hell on the set. All right. So I'm gonna go and cue up the second one. All right, here we go.
Get ready.
Okay. Did pretty good, man. Good job.
Good job, man. Burn off some of my body fat too. So, Eric Lee Salazar, y'all, right now on our new HIIT idea. Where you at, though? Eric has to guess where he's at.
All right, here we go.
And figure out the situations. Just think of yourself in a very soothing place,
Yes,
right?
very peaceful.
Very peaceful.
Massage.
No.
That's the next segment, the
There
massage
are-
zone, where you give us massages.
There are these animals, right?
Yes.
Animals all around you.
Yes. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, they have no legs.
No legs at all. No animal.
They have no legs.
Peaceful.
What
What'd
was
you say?
that?
I'm in the ocean.
Ding, ding,
Ding,
ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding.
Damn,
You
okay.
are in the ocean.
That was pretty good. Check him out. Oh, you got they're taking a selfie of you, man.
Look at that.
A picture.
Oh.
Hey, pose for the camera, man.
Pose. Ah, very nice.
Oh, actually,
very
where's your scuba tank, bro? You're gonna die.
nice.
Hold your breath.
Hold your breath, Eric.
Hold your-
Swim. What are you doing? Whoa.
Way through
Keep
the
going.
algae.
Keep moving.
All right, 2 of 2, man. Make
All
some
right,
noise,
man. Good
everybody.
job. Make some noise for Eric,
So
y'all.
MVP, you got the third one. You know what the third one is? I'll come over there. Hold on.
One more?
Yeah, one more.
We got one more. So far, man, you're killing the game.
All right, let's do it.
You have a very imaginative mind.
I'm a smart brain.
Science
All right. This is the
shredded
third one.
by.
You know
knowing
what the third,
everything.
You know what the third one is, right?
All right.
Third one is up and running.
So now
This is a special one, all right?
think of your heaven,
Yes.
right? Like this is the place. Like if there was one place in the world,
That you could be
right,
at.
that you could be at.
Take part
This
of.
is your heaven,
Mm-hmm. Your heaven.
right?
What is it?
Think about the things you love. You briefly mentioned it earlier.
Venice Beach, California?
Venice Beach? No.
No, it's not Venice.
Good guess, though.
But you mentioned it earlier in the podcast that you are a
There's some fighting going on. There's
you're
a,
a fan.
there's a
you're
fight.
a fan of
there's a grand fight finale going on right now.
of this, right? And
UFC.
this is heaven for you.
Boxing?
No.
No.
Well, think more supernatural. More super.
Ooh,
Think
supernatural.
super. Think super.
I like that.
Think super. Think super.
I'm with Tony Stark in the Infinity War?
You
No,
Okay,
close,
you're
you're
close.
getting
You're getting close.
getting
You're
close.
almost there. Your heaven.
I'm on Asgard?
You're well, okay.
It's a fight.
It's a fight.
Yeah, you're in the middle of a
You're
fight.
in the middle
You
of
might
this
want to duck
fight.
your head. I think you're getting punched.
Yeah, you might be getting punched.
Or you might getting.
Oh, man, I can't. I don't know.
Who's your favorite superhero?
Who's your favorite superhero?
Green Lantern.
And who does he fight in the final scene?
On the Green Lantern movie?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow,
Yeah.
you're not. I mean, I don't know. I guess you're.
Can we
not a
cue it
fan.
up on the screen? Let's show him.
Put him on the spot.
Parallax, man.
Oh. Such a bad movie.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking
Such a
that?
bad
I was like,
movie.
he's probably such a big Green Lantern fan that he like knows that movie sucks. So.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
So we put you in the middle of the suckiest movie.
Let's see some action, right? We got Green Lantern, Eric Lee Salazar. Some little flexing real quick. Let's see.
In the Parallax universe.
In the break free CYE lifestyle shirt.
Oh,
right
dude,
here.
watch out! Watch out for the asteroid.
I was thinking about her being a Green Lantern.
Dude, watch out for the asteroid.
Watch it. Watch it. Watch out.
All right, he was 2 of 3 on the first episode of
Yeah,
Where You
make
At.
some noise for Eric,
Make some noise
y'all.
for Eric Lee Salazar. Throw up that logo one more time, VP, on the blue screen. Oh, yeah.
Where you at,
Where you
though?
at, though? All right, 2 of 3, man. Pretty
That's
good.
not bad.
Good job, dude.
Wasn't bad.
But yo, man.
What was your favorite place? Hell, underwater, or in the Green Lantern Parallax fight?
Green Lantern. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to screenshot it later.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Yo, really quick, man, before we bounce, we just want to say we appreciate your time coming on set with us, giving us your thoughts and your stories about where you started to where you're at now. Is there some final words that you want to, say to the community, inspire them, motivate them, and also, again, where they can find you, via social media?
Yeah, I think with this entire journey that I'm on, and my team at Flex Level Fitness is, and this is going to sound very generic, but I think we live in an amazing place where we can, if you're really passionate about something, and you've been doing it for a long time, then go for it. Don't ever let anybody tell you can't. And I don't want to get a little too far in this. I know we're closing up, but one funny thing that I do that's helped me out with business is about 6-7 years ago, right when I was starting my business, I would actually watch all the seasons of Restaurant Impossible with Chef Irvine. Mm-hmm. And he would go to all these places, and he would go in. So he would go in and just tell you everything that you're doing wrong and why aren't you doing this. So so I would imagine him going into my gym and being like, "What are the books looking like? What is this right here? Mm-hmm. What's the stuff for the restroom?" And I'd be like, "Oh crap, I don't know." So that kind of helped me out as far as the business aspect of it too. And like you've been breakdancing for what, 20 years? 23 years, okay? I've been personal training for 15 years, I know a lot of people think they could just go into breakdancing and just, own a company, okay?
Right.
A lot of people think they could just become a trainer and just own a company. But when you're really passionate about something, get educated, get yourself a mentor, and try to also break free, with your own views. And it'll help you kind of dictate a little bit of what your brand is trying to actually do. I'm pretty sure you get people all the time just like me that say, "Hey, how do I get sponsored by Monster Energy?"
Yeah.
I say, "Well, what do you do?" "Well, I lift weights." Well,
that doesn't work.
That doesn't work.
It doesn't work
like that.
Do as well.
Well, what do you do? Well, I also breakdance like you, Moy.
Yeah.
That's not what it takes.
Yeah. There's millions of people that do the same thing.
Yes. So you have to kind of stand out that way. But once you do, then you can just have some patience and just work on your craft. If you have patience, look at a long goal from now, and you can continue to work at that. Once you see the actual goal, then you're not going to be that impatient because it's inevitable to happen anyways.
Yeah. Good,
awesome,
man. That's an awesome message, man.
So one more time, drop your social medias for everyone out there, for Flex Level and yourself. And
Flex Level Fitness on Instagram and Facebook. FlexLevelOnline.com. Eric Lee Salazar, probably me. I probably get the most.
We didn't mention this, but you do online coaching as well, right?
Yeah,
so
we do online coaching too as
out
well.
There that wants to kickstart something.
And we also have different trainers at the gym that also help with the online coaching too. So
awesome.
yeah, if y'all guys want to come in, we do personal training, we do online training. Check me out on Instagram and Facebook at Eric Lee Salazar.
Awesome.
There you go.
Before
there you have it.
Before we wrap up, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Houston Media Source.
Yes.
For supplying our awesome cameras and just killing it in Houston since the 90s and being an awesome archive and nonprofit. Shout out Houston Media Source. And this has been Break Free Worldwide Podcast, episode number 9. Every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central, we join with a new special guest. Next week, we are joined by...
Next week, we will have Donkey Boy and Donkey Mom, two amazing artists from Houston that have just recently blew up on a national and global level, partnering and collaborating with some of the biggest brands in the world. So we're happy to have them. And so make sure to tune in next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. We got Donkey Boy and Donkey Mom. And right before we sign off, too, want to shout out our other sponsor, Monster Energy.
That's right.
Keeping us fueled, keeping us energized on set. So Monster Energy, thank you guys. We appreciate y'all. Eric, thank you once again.
Much love, Eric.
And
we love you, brother.
Thank you guys.
We love you, bro.